Let's take a look at best time to buy and sell stock from the Grind 75 questions. You're given an array prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. Return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot achieve any profit, return 0. First example they show you, you've got 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4. Best profit you can get is 5, and the reason for that is you buy on day 2, right? You get the 1, and you sell on day 5, which is the 6. 6 minus 1, it's a profit of 5. And on this second example, there's actually no profit that can be earned because there's never a situation where you can buy it on one day and sell it on another to earn profit. The constraints are that the length of the prices is going to be 1 to some giant integer, and the prices can be anywhere from 0 to a giant integer. All right, so let's break down this problem and see how we can solve it. So the way that we can think about this problem is perhaps best by looking at the example they gave us. So they gave us 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4, and the way that they were able to calculate a profit of 5 was being able to buy it on this day, which is the second day or index of 1, and they sold it on this day, right, which is the highest value that you can get by selling 6 minus 1, which will give you a profit of 5. So what kind of patterns can we see here? Well, we know that as we go from left to right, so this is basically time, right? So we can't, for example, buy a stock for 1 and then sell it in the past. That's not the way the problem is stated. So what we really want to do here is we're going to need to loop through the prices. I can't really type or write today. And we need to keep track of a few things. We need to keep track of the best profit. We need to keep track of the current profit if we were to, for example, to sell it in a particular day. And what else do we need here? I think that's pretty much it. So the way this is going to work is let's, for example, look at their example, right? We have the 7, the 1, the 5, the 3, the 6, and the 4. All right, so I just need to move my cat here for a moment. So one other thing that we need to keep track of is what's the lowest price we've seen? So when we start at 7, the lowest price we've seen, well, we've never seen a previous price, right? So it's probably safe to assume that the lowest price is currently int.max, right? Which is an absurdly large integer. So the way that we would calculate the profit is saying, okay, we're at price 7. What's the most profit we can get? So if we have int.max profit minus 7, or sorry, 7 minus int.max profit, we're actually going to determine that we're nowhere close to having a positive profit. Actually, the best profit is probably still going to be 0. Okay, so we're going to look, and we're going to store this right now as the lowest price, as 7. Then we're going to look at the 1. We're going to say 1. Okay, so if we go, what's the lowest price we've seen so far, which is the 7? Okay, so if we calculate the profit, if we bought it at 7 and sold it at 1, is that profitable? No. However, we can determine that we have a new lowest price. We've got the 1 here. So our profit and our best profit are still going to be 0. And as we get to the 5, we can see that, okay, well, actually, the profit that we can get from the here to here is actually going to be 4. And our best profit, which is 0, we can actually update that to 4. And as we get to the 3, we're going to look to see what our lowest price was. So our lowest price is still 1. And we're going to say, like, okay, well, if we bought it, if we sell it today at 3 and the lowest we've seen at 2, that would give us a profit of 2. It's not bigger than the current profit, or that's not better than any of these profits. So we're going to keep the existing profit. And then finally, when we get to the 6, we're going to say, okay, well, we have the 6. What's the lowest price we've seen? We've seen a 1. So actually, we can update our best profit here to 5. And when you get to the last input, you're going to see that actually That's not the best profit, and that's how you can sort of imagine this algorithm. As far as time complexity, right, you're going to have a time complexity of 0 of n, and we actually don't need to allocate input that scales with the numbers that we get, right? So the space complexity, rather, is going to be a constant O of 1. All right, so let's take a look at the code. All right, so let's look at the code. All right, so we know that we need to keep track of a few things. So let's go ahead and make inventory of everything that we need to keep track of. So we know we need to keep track of the best profit, and we're going to say that our best profit is 0. And we also know that we need to keep track of the lowest seen. And again, we're going to start this off at int.max. Basically, if you make this 0, right, that would be problematic. But if you say int.max, that assumes that basically you're not going to be able to make any profit. And then at the end of this problem, we're going to return the best profit, sorry. And now we're going to loop through the prices that we've got. So we're going to say for I in 0 to less than the prices.count. And the profit that the profit we are going to calculate is going to be the lowest seen minus, the prices of I, which is the current price, minus the lowest seen. So let's think about that with some numbers we plug in, right? So so if we have like I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever we look at the first number, prices of I will be 1. So we're going to say 1 minus lowest seen, which is int.max. It's going to be an insanely negative number. And so what we want to do for the next step is say, all right, well, the best profit that we can get is going to be the maximum of the best profit that we currently have, or the current profit that we have. And then we want to update our lowest seen potentially to say, okay, if the lowest seen was int.max, we're going to say the lowest seen is going to be the minimum of either the price, the lowest seen so far, the lowest price we've seen, and also we're going to in the min operation, we're also going to plug in the current prices of I. So the first time we run this lowest seen, we're going to get the minimum value of either the lowest seen, which is int.max, so pretty much any number here will become the lowest seen, and then we're going to continue the loop. So by the time we get to the 2, the lowest seen will be the 1, and as we run through this loop, we're going to be updating. The lowest seen will never be lower than 1, but the profit will become 1 because now we have a prices of I, for example, which is going to be 2. So we're going to say prices of I 2 minus 1, which is a profit of 1. And of course, the best profit of best profit and the profit here of 1, it's going to update to 1. And as we loop through, we're going to get a profit of 4 in this sample input that I've shown. Okay, so let's submit this and see, hopefully, that I didn't make a boo-boo here. And hopefully that you found this video helpful. Have a good one.